Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, you can blame this guy. We've been doing a lot of GameStop videos over the years, and I had no idea all of our hard work would lead to this moment here. But GameStop has stated they are bringing the classics back and have opened a number of, quote, retro stores around the globe, and that you could search for retro stores near you. So what I've learned is that there are certain GameStops that are just existing, and then there are more premium shops where they get a lot of foot traffic, and those are the ones that are getting stocked with retro goodies. Naturally, as someone who's unboxed dozens upon dozens of games from GameStop, I had to, as a professional man juice inspector, head to the premises and see what the quality of the stock was looking like. I apologize if you're listening to this video on your speakers and you have to explain to people what I just said. And so yes, I did pick up a number of games. We'll show off the quality here, but I want to just talk about my experience in the store itself. So for starters, it is marketed as like a separate storefront, like, ooh, they're gonna open up different retro stores, but it's just retro stock within an existing GameStop store. And you'll see here, like, it's its own dedicated shelf just for all games from PS3 to 360, DS, 3DS, Wii, even Wii U stock was there. There's everything. There's even a separate section for DS cartridges. I'll give some thoughts on those in a little bit because y'all know how much I hate a DS cartridge from GameStop. The benefit, of course, of being in person is you can check for both the Man Juice and the Complete Box experience in person. The GameStop quality stamp was certainly there. Like, this copy of Monster Hunter was literally falling apart in my hands. And so, yeah, there were also some cases that were very dirty. It was honestly a very fair representation of everything I've showed you through all of my videos. So they haven't cleaned them up any extra to put them out on store shelves. And also there was a copy of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 that I had found. I was excited about this. I already owned the game, but I was like, oh, cool, this is a pretty good PS2 find here. But they do use printed covers and fake case replacements. So keep this in mind that you should learn your cases, learn your covers, and don't get scammed because they are charging above market value for some of these games, even with the replacement cases and everything involved. As for the DS section, I'm a little more understanding of the cartridges being there because they do, for any DS games that have the case or have the manual, have them separately over on those shelves, at least in the store I was at. So if you wanted a cartridge, yes, they were charging insane prices for things that very well may be dupes, but there was a section dedicated to, like, hey, these are the boxed DS games, and that's naturally where I gravitated to. And outside of just a little window shopping, did not really indulge in any of the DS cartridges that were available. They also had a ton of hardware that was available there, a bunch of 360s, some PS3s, a lot of the Nintendo 64 stuff had sold out. So there are people showing up and excited about this, and this could be pretty good for GameStop. They had flyers out. They also had Game Informer magazines out. I was like, man, that's just rest in peace. I can't believe they're gone. And yeah, it was in that moment I realized, like, oh my God, I don't shop at GameStop ever. I just open boxes on YouTube, but I haven't been here in years. So now that I've been there and I've picked up some games, I did some price comparisons. You'll see the complete box experience here for yourself and what I paid versus what's available online. And we'll talk a bit about it. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me in what is a very special GameStop unboxing video. Let's not delay any further and get right into it. First pickup is Silent Hill Homecoming for the pro member price of 26 bucks. I paid the big fat pre-owned price. GameStop's still slick. I was wondering if they still did this, but pretty much when the cashier was running me up, he immediately added in my GameStop Pro membership, and he was pretty much selling me on, like, oh, actually your subscription renewal will be $7 with this, but meanwhile they could actually use my coupon, and I ended up saving like $12 instead. My whole order came out to $120 with the coupon, so I actually saved money by not signing up. But yeah, just a heads up, you know, I know it's their job. I know they got quotas to meet, so I don't blame the workers, but they will try to sneak it in on you and sell it to you like you're actually saving money when, in fact, I would have been spending almost $20 more with everything combined. Anyway, you'll see here, this is a really clean copy of Silent Hill Homecoming. I know nothing about this game. I just really enjoy Silent Hill. So I have 2, 3. I want to get the original. I want to get 4, which I know is really expensive. I think I've heard mixed things about Homecoming. So y'all let me know in the comments, no doubt about it. But yes, you'll see right here, the complete box experience. So check that out. Yeah, you can naturally see good manual, good quality here. And that's the benefit, of course, of shopping in person for anything, is I get to lay my hands right on it. And I've talked about this, it's intangible when it comes to these videos, but like the GameStop grime, we'll call it, like the smoothness of the cases, this here passes the test for sure. But a lot of stuff I order from GameStop typically has a filth to it, and I have to clean the cases afterwards for anything I decide to keep. Now, Silent Hill Homecoming, as you see here, went for $27.99. I went online and looked on just eBay, and overall, the game was selling for about $20 to $25. So a little bit above market value, but I am getting a clean copy in person. And the real question is, can you peel the stickers off and not completely destroy your game? Because that's the last leg of all of this. But yeah, no doubt I overpaid. And by the way, these prices do include the shipping costs that I was seeing on eBay itself. But yeah, you can already see here, we have a bit of a problem because we have a double sticker slapper here. So I'll have to get to work to this off camera for our, plug here, Sticker Removal Saturday series, which we do over on our Patreon. Link down below if you want to join that. It definitely helps pay for these GameStop orders, I'll be honest. Next thing we picked up here, couldn't believe this wasn't in the collection. Thank God I have GameEye, not a promotion, but it's a fantastic app. If you're a big physical collector, I have over 800 games I learned when I logged everything. And so yeah, it's easy to forget at that point. And so I didn't have Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time, so I had to pick this one up because I love this game. 18 bucks, as you'll see here, so not too bad. And again, complete in box experience. So really can't complain with what we're getting here. This is a nice illustrated one. Again, GameStop grime is not a problem here. Nice and smooth. You know, I wipe all these down anyway, but just the default state of the case, really good. No cracks or anything. No Monster Hunter treatment here where it's hanging on by a thread. And so the online price for A Crack in Time is $15 to $17. So I'm actually paying right around market value and getting it right there in person. And again, it comes down to the stickers, which I will say, to GameStop's credit, they've done a good job of making very easy to peel stickers that do not leave any residue on the game, as you can see right there. That's the beauty of a GameStop sticker. And I say that seriously because I shop at a lot of different retro places, and so many of them make the same mistake of putting the most sticky, heavily adhesive stickers on physical copies. And I can't tell you enough how much it puts me away from stores, because I don't want to deal with the hassle of then making the case all wrinkly from the oil you sometimes got to put on it, or from the scraping. Sometimes it gets a little bit nicked up. You just don't want to deal with any of that. So shout out to GameStop. I will say they have the best stickers, because if you get a good copy like this, you just peel it off and you have a nice clean copy of Ratchet & Clank Future: A Crack in Time, and I can get down with that. So yeah, that was a pretty good pickup there. Then I got a little bit of a deeper cut for some of you who have not played this fantastic narrative game. Cheap pickup too. We have Heavy Rain for the PS3. Now I know it's available on PS4 and whatnot, but whatever. I don't care. I already got most of the trophies on the PS3 version, so if I ever wanted to platinum it, I'd go here. I remember playing this game and absolutely loving it, but also it was the game that I was so nervous I was gonna fail with it that I had to follow a walkthrough. And of course, the famous Jason! You have to have this game in your collection if you love a good PS3 exclusive. If you haven't played it though, fantastic story. And I gotta say, I need to play more of this team's games, because I know they made Detroit Become Human, which apparently is really good. So I want to go hands-on with that at some point. But yeah, as you'll see here, again, complete in box. And that was what really surprised me about my retro store experience here. And also just sick reverse cover case, by the way. Just everything here looks good. It is missing an additional slip that this would typically come with, but going on eBay, Heavy Rain goes for about $9. So again, you know, I actually got an okay deal at $7 here, but I'm also missing the slip. So maybe it's actually priced a little bit fairly. But the big surprise was really going into this store and seeing how many manuals there were, how many slips were in some of these cases. Like, for example, the 3DS games had like all the other Nintendo slips, the health and safety warnings as well, on top of the manuals. So they were like selling legit complete games, which was something I didn't anticipate. But you may remember some of the feedback I gave is if GameStop ever wants to kind of make a strong comeback, if they provide good retro games, like that's a good way to just maintain business. Because I just think sometimes the retro market is a little too like this, just based on how people feel. Literally, they're like, oh, I think that's gonna go up, I'm gonna charge it this much. And then another seller's like, well, I'm not gonna get ripped off, I'm gonna go up that high. And then everyone goes up that high. So GameStop, I'm not trying to give them too much credit, but literally can serve as a stabilizer in the market to a degree if they handle this well. But we'll get into actually how I got an extremely good deal in this pile. And if they keep up this sort of thing, like, look, man, I'll sometimes shop for GameStop, or at least just survey the goods. Next pickup we got here is Grand Theft Auto 4. I've never beat this game. It's something I just want to like get done at some point in time. It's not the complete collection with all of the DLC stories. I just want to see if I can even get through the base game, because I remember finding it super boring back when I played it in middle school. But you'll see here, $10, and it is complete box with the Liberty City guidebook, and I probably will get demonetized for that, so let's just pretend that never happened. But yeah, this is a really cool manual as well. Complete in box, again, clean copy. I also look for like dinks on the cases, like any cracks or anything like that. It's the other thing I can say, like no flimsy cases for the most part outside of that 3DS game, which was again falling apart practically. But otherwise, pretty good here. GTA 4 does go for $10 online, so I'm paying exactly the price I would have got online and not having to wait for it, which is a benefit. Now, the best deal I absolutely got, I wasn't gonna pick it up, but then I looked online and saw it going for $70 to $75. Some even charging upward of $80. And that was Kirby Dream Collection Special Edition. This game was going for $50, as you can see here. And online, it was going for a good 20 to 30 more. And I was like, I don't have this game, and I love me some good Kirby. Like you'll see here, all the classic titles. It includes Dreamland Adventure, Dreamland 2, Superstar, Dreamland 3. It has even the N64 game and the Crystal Shards, new stages, the history of Kirby. Like, it's a really cool game. And you see you have both discs here, right? And it's complete in box with the manual. The manual, of course, is beautiful, all pink and stuff. And like I mentioned with some of the extra Nintendo slips, let me go ahead and get them out here. You'll see they even have the Nintendo Club stuff, the Dream Collection stuff. Like they have all the extra slips here. So again, really clean, complete box copy. Look, no one's more surprised than me. Look, I've been doing this for how many years now? No one was more surprised than me to not only find quality games here, but good deals too. Like really good deals. It's one thing to save, like I showed you here, like a buck or two there, or paying a buck or two more. The biggest overpay I have on this list is Silent Hill Homecoming, where I paid about $5 more by market value, but to save 20 on something, like it was such a good save that I spent more money at GameStop than I otherwise would have, which that's a big win. Like that's a rare win for GameStop. Again, though, this is kind of similar to the orders online. I probably should have said this earlier because people are thinking I'm gassing them up too much. But the reality is that each store is a little bit different based on what stock is sent to them and also what's traded into them. So there is also the possibility that I just went to a really good storefront. I don't know. I'm going to keep poking around and try to make part of our online orders also going out to some of the physical stores near me and seeing what else they offer. However, last game in the pile here, this was the most man-juicy, was Iron Man. And you can kind of see in the reflection here, you got some dirt here. This is definitely a little bit of GameStop man juice, a little bit of scratches here. It definitely has the GameStop grime. However, it is a complete in-box copy of Iron Man. And this was one of the bigger surprises for me because you'll see here, I mean, the game is not in great condition. It's $13, but this is a case replacement. And I'm more forgiving of case replacements. Like if the cover art is good and the manual is good and the disc is good, which they all are, like, okay, I can live with that because I can take either a lesser valuable game off my shelf and just replace this with a better case and not have to worry about it ever. Or you can buy a case replacement online or buy a cheap sports game that is like a buck or two and replace it with that. There's a number of ways that you can navigate case issues. So I don't really lose my mind over it. It's just about the initial starting quality and naturally GameStop doing their thing here with this one. However, what did surprise me is when I went online, Iron Man was going for upwards of $20 complete in box. I've never played this game before. I never really was a big Iron Man fan, but I naturally want to do something involving the Iron Man games because we've done so many Marvel games here on this channel, so I want to do that at some point. Next up will probably be the Captain America game when the movie releases at the top of next year. But yeah, I was surprised to see how it was actually a little bit below what people are trying to sell it for on eBay. So yeah, all in all, as you can see here, a pretty decent haul from GameStop. Everything here complete in box, pretty good quality outside of Iron Man. And I will just say the most grotesque part of it to me was the cartridge pricing. I thought it was ridiculously overpriced. Like I saw so many cartridges going for 50, 60 bucks. And you've seen it here on the channel before. I've gotten caught not seeing how there was a dupe. I've learned since then, but yeah, if it can get over my head, and I'd like to say I'm pretty well versed in this stuff, it can get well over the head of your common consumer. So I just think the prices they charge for those cartridges is highway robbery. That doesn't mean that if you were to get a, say, complete box copy, that the cartridge you're gonna get will be legitimate. You still have to look for the barcodes on the back, make sure they line up between the pins properly, make sure the top of the cartridge is fully aligned and that it's the right shape compared to a legitimate one, those sorts of things. Obviously, the sticker itself can sometimes be very telling. But otherwise, I have to say the stock was pretty decent. It was thin pickings, but I got, as someone who's a pretty decent collector, some really good stuff out of it, and I'll definitely be checking out more. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was my first ever trip to a GameStop retro store in 2024, if you will, and pretty good first impression. I'm gonna keep it honest and objective here. I'm not gonna make up outrage if I didn't leave the store outraged, and what I got, complete in box, was not outrage worthy. Just one case that was kind of quality, that's an easy replacement. I can live with that if that's what GameStop's gonna give me. And all I ask is that they be a competitive option. They don't have to replace my favorite nearby shops that I like to go to. I'll always go to them first. But it's cool to know that maybe moving forward, I can swing by a GameStop as I'm retro game hunting and keep them as part of the options, because I think that's a good thing for them to have, and they were foolish to drop out of that completely. Their prices aren't as low as they used to be when you used to show up and be like, oh, 3 for 10? And I get to take all these expensive games? Sure, no problem. But still pretty decent pickings here. And I was happy to get a good deal or two available at GameStop. Still though, I think your best deals are always gonna be available on eBay for the most part, outside of Kirby, what I got there, and Mercari, in my experience. And of course, going to like Facebook Marketplace, you take a risk there, but I'll always remember getting like Spider-Man Edge of Time for $5. That's like a $70 game. So yeah, you can get some pretty sick deals there too. But overall, can't complain too much about my journey to GameStop. I drove an hour to get to this store because I was so curious. So yeah, not too bad. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you've gone to a GameStop retro store down below. And with that, I will catch you in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.